What's up, fungal associates? Welcome to Completely Arbortrary. It's the podcast about trees, and I'll say it's the mystery podcast about trees and other related topics. Oh. I am one of your hosts. My name is Alex Crowson. Of course, over there on the big mauve couch, we have Casey Clapp.
Wow, it's actually a blue couch, Alex?
Casey.
It's a green couch? It's a couch with that? Anyway, sorry. What a good one.
I'll loop back on that mystery thing, Casey, but I just want to say quickly, you brought something very special to show and tell.
I did. It is it's a book. What did you guys think I was going to say, you nerds? I did, Alex. You're right. That is very true. I, for the first time, have got a copy of a book that I have written entirely myself. And it's so goddamn exciting.
It's a book.
It is officially a book. It is called The Trees Around You. You might have heard that I have been working on this for a while.
Yes.
And I got the official I don't know, it's not even pre-anything. It's like the most pre. It's the zero book. I don't know if it's the first that has ever been like officially like, it was the first one off the press.
Yeah, it is patient zero before the virus of this book's popularity takes over the world.
It's going to spread like a contagion around everywhere.
Yeah.
At least the Pacific Northwest, hopefully. Yeah, it's so it's the very first author advance copy that got sent to me by the lovely folks at Mountaineers Press, and I'm just so over the moon about it.
Yeah, Case, congrats.
Thank you, Alex. It's great because it's real, you know?
That was actually my first, and I told you this, you handed it to me, and I was like, wow, this is a real book. I will say, yeah, it would not be out of place at a bookstore. I.e., it's a book.
It is a book. Where should it live?
A very long-term project that has finally come to fruition.
It is, yeah.
The rest is gravy, baby.
The rest is gravy.
Collecting them checks.
Yeah, hopefully everyone buys it so that I can live for a while. We'll find out.
I need to buy it. I went back and forth. I told you this. I was like, I told a friend, Grant, I was like, Casey's book is coming out. I'm struggling with whether to buy one. And I said to him, and
the assumption being you'll get a free one.
I told you these words exactly, so I'm not keeping this from you, but I was like, I think I should probably get a free one.
To which I said, well, now that you demand it, no, I'm taking it back, and I'm going to donate it to Goodwill so that somebody else can go get it.
And I'm going to dress in fake glasses and mustache and walk in after you and buy it for $2.
Oh, yes, I'm looking for a book, please. It's on trees.
Well, Casey, congratulations. It's been a long time coming, and it's finally happening. The trees around you can pre-order now anywhere you get books.
Exactly. So go find it. This episode of Completely Arbortrary is coming out in 2 days. 2 days following that is an event that I want everyone in Portland to come to.
Oh, wow. The Saturday?
This is Saturday the 19th of July.
Okay.
It is an alley cat race here in Portland.
Oh, yeah.
Called the Portland Tree Ramble.
Give me the tweet version of what that is.
A tweet version is it's a bicycle scavenger hunt across the city.
Cool.
And you have a time, and you have points that you need to get in order to get prizes. And it's going to be so much fun.
I'm really stoked for you.
Yes, thank you. If you're in town, you like bike things, this is going to be an alley cat race. It's all free, so you can give donations if you want, sure. But there's going to be a party at the end, and it is on the Pedalpalooza, the bike summer calendar.
Oh, cool.
So go give that a Google, get yourself a bike, and then come out to this alley cat race. I think it'll start somewhere around, 2 or 3 in the afternoon on Saturday.
Sweet.
And it's very fun. And of course, obviously, it's tree themed, everybody.
Cool.
If you participate and you at least go to one of the stops, I'm not going to tell you which, comes with a free little prize.
How about that?
Yeah. So it's called the Portland Tree Ramble.
Portland Tree Ramble. Exciting. Casey, we have an exciting tree to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
You may recall in the beginning of the episode, I said that this tree was a mystery, and after the break, I'm going to tell everybody the backstory here. And I will leave the species name until after the break. We'll be right back with a mystery tree here on Completely Arbortrary. Welcome back. Here's the deal. A couple months ago, we got an email from a person named Roberta.
That's right. Hi, Roberta. Shout out. What's up?
Shout out, Roberta. Roberta's an illustrator, a botanical illustrator. And we got an email from Roberta saying, hey, I want to illustrate a cone for your cone club. And this is the cone. I found it in real life, and I will draw a picture of it, and I'll send it to you guys. We said, that's fabulous. So Roberta drew the cone and sent it to us, and I showed it to you, and you said, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I raised my shoulders and my hands in the quintessential, I don't know.
Yeah. And I said, well, I've got a couple of details. It was found in Mexico City.
Yep.
End of list.
End of list.
It appeared to be similar to a gray pine.
It did. It appeared very similar to that.
But there were a couple big catches. One of them being that this cone did not have any armed umbos. It had kind of smooth ends to its scales. And Casey, the tree in question, of course, is Pinus. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Alex. You're so nice to give me the opportunity. It is Pinus maximartinezii.
Maximartinezii.
Yes, which I have a little qualm or two with the name.
Okay.
We'll get to that later.
Sure, we will.
And Alex, it is the cone that you will be getting this month right after the one that I just sent out, which is the Calorie Pear.
Yeah.
Which is not a cone. I get it. Don't come at us. This one is for June.
That's right.
And it was listed as mystery pine.
Yes, but we found the cone. And if you want, by the way, I'd be remiss to miss this.
This is an opportunity.
Remiss to miss. Become a Tremia member at arbortrarypod.supercast.com to get monthly cone stickers, botanical stickers, I should say, illustrated by a cavalcade of talented artists.
It's huge.
Casey, let's imagine that you and I are Roberta.
Yeah, I was going to say, imagine you and I are sitting in our studio and I show you a picture of a tree cone.
And we come across this interesting cone, and right off the top of your head, because you're so smart, you say, that's a Pinus maximartinezii.
Yeah, right.
Let's ID this tree, Case.
So I first have to tell you the little story about me figuring out how to ID this tree. Whenever a cone comes to me and I don't know what it is, my first thought is, I need to figure out what that cone is. I'm very familiar with a lot of them, and I'm also familiar with what it is to be a pine. So pines have cones that always have that apophyses, that end of the scale that's kind of like wider and looks different. It's the exposed part of a closed cone.
Yes.
On the very tip is the umbo. The umbo is the very first created section of the cone scales. The first year. As it goes through its next years of growth, the rest of it gets bigger, and that little umbo, that very kind of the first miniature little cone scale, that then becomes just the tip of the bigger cone scale. And that is what sets all of the other species apart. Rather, it's what sets Pinus, apart from all the other species. So, first off, I was like, that's definitely a pine. Certainly
For sure.
in the genus Pinus.
Even I knew that.
Even Alex knew that. And what does Alex know?
The sad clown he
The
is.
sad clown. So now that we've, you look at some pine trees, you look at other species, and you're like, okay, I get the difference between the cones. So we were like, okay, we know this is a pine. It had these big, wide, huge, like almost hooked-like cone scales.
Yeah.
The cone itself, which is where we're going to start, is pretty damn large. Like kind of surprisingly so, it turns out. But it can be almost like 5 to 6 inches long. The cone scales are very widened and they go almost straight down, so they kind of look like, I don't know, kind of hooks a little bit. Especially when it's open, they kind of just look very skinny, and then they just go out and then go straight right down. So they don't really come out as much as you'd expect, which was my first clue that, okay, this is not, though it looks like, Pinus sabiniana, which is the ghost pine. So I looked at the great pine on the conifers.org, the gymnosperm database, conifers.org, and there's only 3 species there, and I know them very well. That's the Torrey pine. That is, 4 species. Torrey pine, Jeffrey pine, Coulter, and ghost.
Okay, those are like the what did you say, the clade there?
Yes, it's an individual clade within the genus of Pinus.
Okay.
Because there's so many different species where they basically have them all in subsections of sections of the subgenus.
Okay.
So this is in subgenus Pinus, and the section is Trifoliae, which means it has 3 leaves, and then the subsection is Sabiniae. There's only 4 species there. So I'm like, okay, well, shoot, it's not that.
Okay.
So I kept looking through all the other species that I knew were from Mexico. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm about to start panicking here, and this is going to be some weird species from not Mexico, planted in Mexico.
Right.
In which case, I have no idea what kind of tree it would be.
You'd have to go through every pine that ever existed.
Exactly, which I was prepared to do. So instead, I ended up looking down through a couple other weird species, and I noticed on the conifers.org database that there is the, quote, big cone clade of pinyon pines.
Oh, my.
And I was like, oh, now we're talking. But that is in a completely different section than those other bigger, wider, fatter cones.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, is this a pinion? Because that means that I was starting off looking at a completely different wrong thing, because pinions are white pines. So they're in a different subgenus entirely.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just going to give this a quick look. Maybe I just couldn't tell because they have a certain kind of cone that looks weird, but pinions themselves are really strange. And I ended up looking through, I think I'm going to pronounce this right. I think it is Rzdowski.
Wow.
So that includes Pinus maximartinezii,
Okay.
Pinus pensiana, and Pinus Rzdowskii.
Okay. What a fun little group.
No, it's a group I never want to go meet again because each one of their names is just as confusing.
Yeah.
So I ended up clicking through it, and there's only 3 species in this little
God.
clade. And I was like, this is great. Okay, let's see what this Maximar... And I saw it, and I was like, that's the cone. Because every species of conifer has its own unique cone. So as soon as you see a cone that looks really, really close, you know either A, that's the one, or B, you're looking at something that is very closely related.
Okay.
So then a quick Google search of this tree, which is really, it just is called the Maxipiñon.
Yes.
Which is very fun. I was looking through it and I gave it a Google, and Wikipedia came up like all the normal things you'd expect. And I was like, boom, that is the tree. I was stunned because, Alex, I had no idea that there was a cone from a pinyon pine that is as big as this thing is.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's easily bigger than a ponderosa pine, and probably a little bit bigger than most every other pine except for like the sugar pines, the coulter pines,
Sure.
all those other big ones that I was looking at that I thought it was related to.
If Coulter's XL, this is at least L.
Yes, exactly. So that was my first thing. I said, okay, now what does the rest of this tree look like?
Yeah.
I'm sure, Alex, that you are just chomping at the bit.
Can I guess?
Oh, yes, you may.
Looks like maybe like a pine tree.
Funny enough, you're wrong and right at the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would say it's a 3-needle pine.
It
Why don't you just go
is
ahead and tell me? Shit.
Not a 3-needle pine.
God damn.
Honestly, the struggle is part of it, Alex. This is learning.
I don't like that.
Well,
I disagree with your thesis here.
We've been doing this for 5 years now. You can't disagree. So it gets to about 50 feet tall, 16 or so meters, 2 feet in diameter is about the biggest one that anyone has really measured, found in terms of size. It's got an airy kind of bluish canopy, but the thing is, it grows like other pinions. And pinions always have kind of a rounded, short, more decurrent growth, so it doesn't stay perfectly upright the way you expect most conifers.
Yeah.
Which is why I said, well, you're not right, but you're also very much not wrong.
It's got sort of a scraggly look to it.
Exactly, and that usually is a very common thing for pinyon pines.
Okay.
They're not really big. They create like the round, bushy kind of canopy. They're beautiful trees, and this one is no exception to this whole kind of pinyon je ne sais quoi.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful, right? It's also got bark that's very similar. It usually starts out kind of a grayish color, but then becomes kind of scaly and starts having little bits of brown underneath the dark gray as kind of it gets bigger and some furrows line up on it. So they have like this really beautiful kind of understated kind of bark, in my opinion. Really quite nice, especially because the orange just like bursts out from the kind of the cracks in the bark.
Yeah, it's pretty good looking.
Yeah, it really gives you something to look at. Now, as you noted, it has needles. As you noted incorrectly, it does not have 3. It has 5, which makes sense because it's in the white pine group.
Do white pines all have 5 needles?
They almost all do.
Okay.
That's one of the big things for the soft pines, which is also commonly known as like the white pine group. In this case, it's got 5 needles, which other pinions have 4 or 2 or 3. Like the pinions really just kind of like created their own weird situation and are just running with it. All the other white pines or the soft pines, they're like, yeah, we got 5 and we're cool with that.
Yeah.
But then the pinions were like, what? and just went off the deep end and did all sorts of crazy stuff.
That was a good vocal effect.
Thank you. I did that all by myself. Yeah, so they're usually about 4 inches long, these needles. Again, bundles of 5.
Okay.
Nothing too fancy. They drop most of their sheath like all the other 5-needle pines. Generally, you won't see anything other than like a few little nubbins of scales at the very base of the collection of needles, that fascicle. And they have white stomatal bands on the inner side, glossy on the outside. So they kind of create this blue, almost two-toned kind of appearance often.
Casey, I'm reading I guess I just finished a book called The Fifth Science.
Oh.
I recommend it to everybody.
Yes, I think you might have told me about this. I think
I probably did.
Yeah.
It's like a sci-fi book.
But yes, you did.
in the later parts of the book, which take place thousands and thousands of years in the future, some people have like 4-dimensional clothing.
Oh,
so it's sort of you can kind of see it sometimes not. It's like iridescent and just kind of like every time you move, it like goes in and out of visibility.
Whoa!
And I now am kind of using that as a visual reference for these sort of like two-tone trees that you can't quite get a grasp of what they're doing. You know?
Yeah, I dig that.
Anyway.
Nice. I also have 4-dimensional clothes, meaning that a lot of my stuff that I continue to wear today is from a different time.
Oh, very good.
The 4th dimension is time.
Yeah, we got that.
Oh shit! Sorry.
It's not that I didn't laugh because it wasn't funny.
Well, okay.
I mean,
so that begs the question, Alex. Where was the laughter? Well, that is that brings us back, of course, to the cones, which I already kind of told you about.
Yep.
But there's some other interesting things that we should know. One, they are, again, it bears repeating, they're very large cones.
Yeah.
Certainly compared, like I said, to other pinions. 5 inches is the minimum they get. They get to 9 inches. I misread my own notes like a fool, like a damned fool. So the thing about it, though, is that being so large, they have very large seeds. The seeds also lack a wing, so they're just kind of these hard, black, circular seeds that look just like any other pinion. You crack open the outer shell, and you get a pine nut.
Now, this pine nut,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, is kind of large.
It is.
I kind of imagine it the size
large.
of an almond. Like a shelled almond.
It might be, yeah. So it's about 2.2 to 2.6 centimeters.
Oh, good. And are they yummy?
I believe so because people eat them all the time.
Okay.
In fact, they're sold in markets. They are very much a traded commodity down in Mexico where they grow.
Okay.
And speaking of, they are native to one particular place in Mexico called Zacatecas.
Zacatecas.
Which I just love saying. In exactly the way you make it like go down. It kind of sounds like the Chica Chica from whatever show that used to be, you know?
Yeah.
Zacatecas.
Zacatecas.
Yeah, thank you.
Zacatecas.
Oh, man, it's so good.
Some Spanish words are just so pleasing to say.
They really are, and this is one of them.
Snappy. Okay.
Yeah. And this is a state, and they are native to like the very center of it.
Wow.
And there's only 2 tiny little populations amongst like other species, but it's a very high and dry area, like 6 to 7, 8,000 feet in the very center of Mexico, kind of a little bit further south. So they grow in this very arid or semi-arid environment.
Okay.
With about 30 or so inches of rain each year. And they take up a total space. Both of these tiny little populations creating kind of just one bigger population because they're mostly just like disjunct. One's grown over there, the other's grown over there. Genetically, very similar. They take up 145 square miles, or where there's actual literal trees, they can be considered groves as small as 13.5 square miles.
Okay.
So like really tiny.
Is that small?
Imagine, honestly, I don't know exactly how big Portland is, but yes, it's very small.
Okay.
Compared to like where Douglas fir grows, it's literally half the continent, you know? Same thing with a bunch of other pines.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So this would be the equivalent of the entire population of this whole species of tree could fit comfortably within the city limits of Portland.
Okay.
Which is weird to think about.
Yeah.
If you go to Gresham.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to Gresham, then you are now outside of the range of this tree. If you cross over and go to Hillsborough, you are now outside of just Beaverton. You're outside of the range of this tree.
To all our Portlanders out there,
everyone's like, "Oh,
who
I
know
get
what
exactly
any of this
what
means."
you're talking about. Now imagine you're crossing the river from New Jersey to New York. That's about it. So save it suffice it to say, it is a tiny, tiny little group of trees, and that's the only place they are found natively. They are considered, because of this, endangered.
That was my next question.
There you go.
Just regular, good old endangered?
Yeah, good old endangered
not highly
neogesins. No, I don't know if they are...
Critical?
I don't think it's critical at this point because they're not like actively dying out.
Okay.
But that is the thing. They are getting highly affected by new management schemes, so to speak. The area that they grow, so very tiny and small, that if there are any other new disturbances, that it has a huge impact on the population.
Okay.
So there has been an uptick in using the land for grazing, so a lot of cattle. But in order to get it better for grazing, fires are put through. Often they start themselves, but they are also started by the people in the area. Fires come through, burn off the area, and now you've lost many of the trees. Their bark is not very thick, so in terms of being fire-dependent species where they grow and live in a place where fire exists, they are more on that we're just going to resprout, don't worry about us kind of thing.
Okay.
They will just burn up. They don't really sit there and say, I'm going to take it like a ponderosa pine would.
Sure, okay.
So if fires come through, burn off a couple of the small ones, they kill a bunch of the older ones, then the land kind of is reverted to grazing areas. No more trees are planted or grow. Then you're slowly but surely losing their habitat.
I would think as a commercial product, you'd want to keep these things alive.
Right? Well, see,
But I
that's...
guess there are plantations for that. I don't know.
Well, there isn't really a lot. I know that piñons are eaten and have been for thousands of years in the entire... everywhere that they grow. But this is one interesting exception because all of the populations, all the trees that are there, they're not enough to really make it a commercial kind of thing. Where you can go to the southwest United States and there are thousands upon millions of piñons, mostly... There's the Mexican piñon, and there's the border piñon, and there is the single leaf piñon. They are growing all over the place.
In the wild?
In the wild, yeah.
Okay.
So you can go snag all those, all the seeds, and you can eat them, and you're not going to really dent it at all.
Okay.
But with this one, the first thing that people actually thought was that because it is a cultural food, people were eating it, and then they weren't letting the seeds grow into new trees because the seeds are the things that everyone's eating.
Yeah.
So because this is such a small little population, everyone would go collect all the seeds, and then there would be no new regeneration coming up.
I see.
Turns out, though, my friend Alex, that's not the case.
Oh.
This is far more of an interesting tree than it initially meets the eye.
Okay.
And it also just seems like it's interesting when it meets the eye. So if that tells you anything.
I mean, well, speak for yourself.
What? You didn't see that cone and think, now that is a tree that piques my interest.
I suppose a little.
Okay.
But I don't know. So far, it sounds like a tree. I got to be honest.
Well, that is very fair because ultimately, it is.
But tell me, surprise me here. What's the mystery that makes this tree so special?
Well, thanks for just asking all the right questions, Alex. So it turns out that this tree has gone through a genetic bottleneck.
Oh my God.
Sometime in the last 1,000 years.
Okay.
Now, you remember what a genetic bottleneck is? We've talked about it a few times here and there. You got this.
I gotta go.
Oh, Alex, you can't leave.
A genetic bottleneck.
A genetic bottleneck.
Is it geographical in nature?
It could be. You have 19 questions left.
Okay, it could be.
Yes.
Okay. Who the fuck cares?
It's feisty, you guys.
Casey, what's a genetic bottleneck?
Well, thanks for asking all the right questions, Alex. A genetic bottleneck is when a population is dwindled down to the point where there's no longer a huge amount of variation.
Oh.
Where you have every person in Oregon, they all leave or die or become infertile, and there's only 16 people. 8 of them are men, 8 of them are women. Those are the only 16 that can reproduce.
They all start to drive Subarus.
They all drive Subarus, and all of their kids will have similar genes.
Subarus.
Yes. Oh, yeah, obviously, because they have similar genes. It's right there, Alex.
Sure. So even among We're not talking. This is not a mono species type thing. Where like 90% of the trees in this place are the same species. We're talking among the species. You want diversity. I guess what I'm saying is there is diversity even within a species. You and I look different. We are both Homo sapien.
Correct.
So you want diversity in a species of tree.
Yes.
For health reasons, for vitality.
Exactly.
And the more similar and the smaller the pool, it turns into a pond.
Yes.
Or I guess a pool is smaller than a pond.
Well, it depends on the pond and the pool.
Oh God. The smaller, the smaller resources the tree has to pick from. Oh, I want this kind of thing, this kind of thing.
Exactly, yes.
And then one gets sick with a disease.
They're all
and now they're all
susceptible.
fucking sick because they all have very similar genetics.
Exactly. They essentially all came from a very small group of parents.
Yes.
Exactly.
Inbred.
You got there. Very well done.
I need a snack.
Yeah, Alex is sweating now. Yes, so that is exactly it. So the idea with the bottleneck is you have everything in the world, but then it all gets connected down, and now there's just this tiny little space that only a very few amount of individuals can make it through. All the rest die, so you lose all that genetic kind of extra material.
How does that happen?
That is a great question. There are two kind of main ways that a lot of ways this happens, but there's the two is a squishy number.
Okay.
One could be a hybridization event, where you have two different species. Maybe they don't hybridize. Maybe they used to. Maybe it's just not a thing. Maybe for some strange reason, one tree was brought over and into another tree's population, and you had this strange, who knows the odds kind of event.
Is a hybridization event anything like an ice cream social?
Yes, I think it kind of is. Yeah. Except there has to be sex, and you have to do it with a different species.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. Sign me up. In this case, no one's quite sure. They're thinking maybe there was this one event. So the bottleneck was so severe that these folks have said, these researchers have said, it might have just been a single seed that survived, that created a new tree.
I see.
That then created new trees that then started to have its own population.
Wow.
So it could be that there
wouldn't it have to be two seeds?
No. Two trees, tree A, species B, they have a hybridization event, and it becomes one seed, one offspring. So one ovule pollinated with a different species pollen.
That's
That is the event. Then, for whatever reason, it never happened. It doesn't happen very often, but that one is a viable seed. And then it grows and becomes a new tree.
Okay. What is the other thing, Case? Hybridization events, one of them. What's the other one?
Yes. So the other one would be some kind of huge traumatic event on the population.
Cataclysm.
Exactly. Imagine a flood comes through and it kills every single species except for this tiny population that lives on the top of a mountain.
Okay.
So the only ones that live on top of that mountain are the survivors. Every 99% of every other individual in that population is dead.
And because they live on top of a mountain, their genetics will be a little different than the ones living down next to the beach.
Precisely. At least, supposedly. So that could be the other thing. Maybe a giant fire came through after a huge long drought. All the trees died except for a handful that happened to survive for whatever reason. Okay. And then grew back out again and started to recreate a new population, but only from that small genetic base.
Now, I'd like to link it back to this Maxipiñon and talk about how that is a bottleneck.
We don't know. It's either one of those two options.
So the Maxipiñon is a victim of bottlenecking, of genetic bottlenecking.
Correct.
Or a subject of it.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So there is, I should say, Alex, we might have one more option.
Wow.
This has no evidence necessarily, in the sense of nobody has either done the genetic research to figure these things out, or it just hasn't been corroborated with other evidence.
It's a fun guess.
It's a fun guess.
What happened to fun guesses?
So the fun idea, Alex, is that the people who live in this area, who we've known have used and eaten these seeds from these trees for thousands of years, and we know they have also had a very good tradition of not genetic alterations, but breeding of plants for very specific purposes, i.e. maize. This is in the Mesoamerica region where maize is from.
Yeah.
It could be that this one seed, like I said before, that genetic bottleneck, it could have been from somebody finding one tree that had one giant cone on it or something, or one giant weird mutation that made it so that there's this gigantic seed. So they ate all the other seeds and then planted that one.
Wow.
And then that tree started to grow all these other big, gigantic cone, gigantic seeded trees.
Sure.
Became a different species.
Cool.
But would that happen in the last 1,000 years? It's really like a big question, because there's two things that kind of like, well, let's think about this a little bit deeper. One is these people are really good at doing this kind of agriculture, i.e. kind of using the whole land as one big, gigantic agricultural thing. So there theoretically would be way more trees in way more places. So basically, if you find a really great tree that creates these big, beautiful seeds, you'd be like, yeah, thank you, I'm going to plant one over here. And then you give that to someone else, and you trade it to someone else, and now that tree is spreading all over the place, because all the people in the area are like, yeah, let's plant that, let's eat that.
If they love it, they probably wouldn't like create an endangered species out of it.
Yeah, exactly. They would be planting it and propagating it, cultivating it.
Yeah.
Which we know these people have done with maize, which does not do it itself. So we know that there isn't some accident. They are very smart. They're very capable. They would have been like, yes, let's plant and breed this particular species, this particular tree.
And they just didn't.
And they just didn't, which is like, okay, they would. So there isn't just, I'm just not going to do it. It grows by itself. You don't need to water it. So there would be no reason why they wouldn't, which makes you think they didn't. So that's one big kind of caveat. The other thing is that genetic bottleneck, if that happened, then conceivably there should have been something before that. And we don't really find any evidence for this tree having been elsewhere. Maybe we just haven't found it. Maybe it's just not really something we found. But this species kind of looks like it's brand new on the scene. So a lot of people are like, man, this is probably a hybridization event that just hasn't quite caught on yet.
Okay.
We know the people in this area, they know about it. They've eaten it for thousands of years. So maybe it's just spread for 1,000 years, but this is as far as it got.
I mean, that's not a long time either.
It's really not a long time.
For trees.
Exactly. For trees, it's a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
I was looking up the Tory pine because this is considered one of the most rare species of pine in the world. The Tory pine is also considered one of the rarest species.
Cool.
But that one has two populations that have been separated by 180,000 years. Like one is on a literal island in the ocean, the other is still on the mainland. But they are almost genetically identical, enough where they say these are just kind of varieties of each other. But they're not actual subspecies, they're not real species, they are all the same Tory pine. That is different than the ponderosa pine, the one that grows along the coast and the one that grows further up in like Washington and eastern Oregon.
Okay.
Those have been separated for 30 million years,
Wow.
yet we still consider them subspecies of each other.
Interesting.
So this one, with just 1,000 years,
Yeah, nothing.
it's like, okay, that is a blink of an eye. Which means it's very likely that this tree existed way before this and developed these huge seeds, not because it was cultivated by humans, but potentially maybe it was cultivated by birds, the same way as we have the cultivation of the coulter pine and the ghost pine and other big, large seeded pine species that each all have their seeds dispersed by birds.
Sure.
So it could be that this was a tree that ended up getting kind of the evolutionary pressure of birds wanting these big fat seeds, who would then scatter hoard them all over the place, then they'd grow into these new little trees. Boom, that is your dispersal mechanism. What happened? Why did it get that tiny little bottleneck? We still don't know.
Interesting.
But it doesn't seem like you can totally blame it on people taking over and saying, yes, this is good. Certainly they had something to do with it at the later stages. But it's kind of a really mysterious tree.
Well, that is perfectly on theme. Mystery cone indeed.
It is a mystery cone.
Wow.
Mystery in the sense of, what is that cone? But once we figure it out, the mystery is, why are you
Why
like
is this cone?
Yes, why is this cone? Yeah, so it's really interesting. And today, lots of people are realizing this is a really cool, interesting tree for certain like scientific reasons, but also very intense cultural reasons.
Is it trendy right now?
It is. I don't really think you can quite say trending.
Okay.
But it certainly has way more people paying attention to it than I would have ever thought. In fact, you can buy it over at Sistis Nursery here in the metro region of Portland.
How about that?
So, I mean, maybe you can't find it. At least it's growing there. I can tell you that much.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I don't know if it's actually for sale, but
buy it and take it home.
Conceivably, you could plant it here. It is hardy down to, I think, well past 0, because it grows at a very high elevation with lots of frost.
0 degrees?
Yes, yeah. So
Interesting.
we know that this species can grow here. So trending, I don't think quite yet.
Okay. Is it similar? I wonder if there's any link to Maxipiñon. They at least have the similar sound.
Honestly, being a mystery tree, could be.
Because periods are a mystery.
We
still don't know.
We have no idea. I feel like scientists pointing at the crotch of a woman with a big question mark in front of it.
In the 50s.
Yes, I have horrible news for you.
Smoking
you
a
are
cigarette.
way behind, Alex. We actually know quite a bit.
All right. We're going to give a review to this Maxipiñon. We're going to do so after a quick break, and we'll be right back with Completely Arbitrary. Welcome back to Completely Arbitrary. That was our discussion of the Maxipiñon. It's time to give it a review. But first, Casey, I've seen this tree be called the Martinez pine.
Yes.
Who is that named after?
That is actually a good question. That ties a loose end that we unraveled at the very beginning.
Lovely.
So that's kind of my problem with this name. So it's called Maxipiñon. Mm-hmm. The scientific name is Pinus maximartinezii.
Large Martinez.
Yes, which appears to be named after Maximino Martinez.
Wow.
That was named after the same other botanist with the weird name, which is Jerzy Radzowski.
Sure.
What do you do when it's an R and a Z? I don't know how to say that.
Maybe just leave out the R.
I guess so.
R.
Okay, so it would be
Jerzy
Radzowski. That sounds pretty good.
Radzowski. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
Maximiano Martinez?
Yes, Maximino.
Maximino.
Yes.
Maximino.
So, the scientific name appears to be his first and last name smashed together.
That's cool.
Minus the M-I-N-O at the beginning.
Okay.
That's not how that works.
That's great.
You can't just like name something after you and just call it the Pinus Alex Crowson. It's got to be Pinus crowsonii.
I see. Maybe the people naming this had a genetic bottleneck.
Oh, now that's a good one. So I really don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. But
that's kind of a cool twist on it, I think. I didn't know.
You think so?
I thought Maxi came from it being big.
That's my thought
but
too.
Maxi comes from it from a man's name.
Exactly.
Casey, it's time to give a review to this tree. And here's how it works. We're going to have some final thoughts on it and then give it a rating of 0 to 10. Golden Cones of Honor. As our resident expert, we'll begin with you.
All right. So here's my thought on this tree. I love a big cone. I love a big cone. And this cone is super cool. Like, I don't know. It kind of shirks the entire idea of what pinions are. Wow. They have these weird little cones that just are jam-packed with the biggest seeds.
That's what it said in the pitch meeting.
It did.
We're trying to shirk... What did you say?
Shirk the... I don't know exactly.
The idea of what pinions even are anymore.
Thank you for remembering what I just said.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then they got the green light, but like the budget apparently was very low, so the population's very small. So, yeah.
You can have it fast, good quality, and what's the cheap. Choose two of those things.
Choose two of those things. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So in this case, I dig that this tree is kind of this mystery where it's kind of like the that old oak tree. What was it? Not Lutz. I'm thinking of all the other hybrids except this one. It's that oak tree down in ye old Joshua tree that everyone's kind of like, It's a hybrid, but we're not really sure where or how, but it exists.
Interesting.
Gosh, what is that tree? I am such a fool.
It's okay.
I'll think about it. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that.
I kind of have the stance that it doesn't matter.
Okay, that's great then. That makes me feel good. So the fact that this is like we got this from a mystery cone, followed the rabbit or followed the breadcrumbs down the rabbit hole, and then learned that the tree itself is also a bona fide mystery.
Pretty cool.
And that it also has these wildly large, beautiful, crazy-looking cones. It's a culturally important tree. We don't know how far back it's been culturally important. And we don't even know how far back the tree itself goes. We don't know any of the other genes of it before this one bottleneck within the last 1,000 years. It just makes this tree like exactly this like mysterious figure just flowing out in the wind in the desert, you know?
Yeah.
So for that, I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10.
Very good.
I just dig it.
Pretty exciting.
It was a very exciting tree.
All right. Well, I think this tree's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm really lacking an emotional connection to it.
You're lacking? Okay, what do we got to do?
I guess I got to go to Mexico.
You got to go. Well, shoot.
So I think this cone's cool. I like the backstory of it where we didn't know what the fuck it was. We thought my pitch was that it was a gray pine that the scales had been like worn off.
Oh yes, kind of like maybe in a tumbler or something like that.
Yeah, someone
gotcha.
kicked it down the road until it was a perfect sphere.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool. I think I like the mystery, and I love the illustration of it we got from Roberta.
Yeah.
That you will be getting as a sticker in the mail soon. And I love pretty much anything Mexican, so I'm on board there, Case.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like a solid 7.0.
Yeah.
Just kind of
7.0. Right there.
It's not bad.
I think it's fair. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, great. I do have an update. I was thinking of the Munz oak.
Munz, yes, of course.
Quercus X Munzii.
Great. Well, Casey, that was Maxipiñon, and it's time for a game.
What?
This is an oldie but a goodie.
Oh, let's do it.
This is Binomial Bonanza.
What?
And this is a very special edition of Binomial Bonanza. I wanted to throw you a softball.
What? I love softballs.
There's a theme to this Binomial Bonanza.
Okay.
Which is conifers of the Northwest.
Oh, my God. Why would you do this?
Of China! So I am going to tell you the scientific names of 6 conifers that grow in Northwest China.
Oh, my God.
You need to tell me the common name for each of these. If you are successful and get 4 out of 6, a bonus round opens up.
Oh, my gosh. Like a portal into a new world.
That's right. Where you will crush. Okay, Casey.
All right.
Here are the scientific names for these trees.
Okay.
So let's see how fast you can name these trees.
Okay, I'm ready.
Beginning in 3, 2,
What?
1. Picea crassifolia.
Picea crassifolia. Can you use it in a sentence?
Look at that Picea crassifolia. It's a dominant species in the semi-arid regions, highly vulnerable to drought.
Interesting. Okay. It is over there. What was the specific epithet again?
Picea crassifolia.
Crassifolia. That's interesting. Okay. I think that this is going to be called the desert spruce.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Qinghai spruce.
Okay.
Pinus tabuliformis.
Oh, okay. This is, oh gosh. Okay, I know this tree. This is Chinese white fir. Chinese white pine.
Chinese pine, yes.
Okay, all right, yes.
Pinus siberica.
This is the Siberian pine.
Correct.
Yes.
Larix siberica.
Oh, that is the Siberian larch.
Correct. Picea shrenkiana.
Shrinkiana?
Yes.
I believe that is Honey, I Shrunk the Spruce tree.
Incorrect.
What?
That is Shrinks spruce.
Shrinks. Okay, yeah. Close.
Abies siberica. This is no fun.
Hold on. Is this the Siberian fir?
Correct.
Yes. Come on. Count it, you guys. Just snuck past the line.
In a minute and 39 seconds. I don't know how you won or lost, but you did good.
I won because I got 4 in the
That is true.
in the
Yes,
allotted
thank you.
time. So there's a bonus portal that's about to open up.
Are you ready for the speed round?
Yeah, it's gonna. Now I have to get as many as I can in that amount of time.
Okay. A minute and 39 seconds.
See, no one told me the rules that if I just go really slow, I get more time in the bonus round.
That's cool.
Now, because I felt like I was under pressure, I went as fast as I could, and now that becomes a hindrance.
This dungeon crawler Carl stuff is rubbing off on you.
Yeah,
That's
it
good
is.
game theory.
Yeah, you should see my... Let's move on.
What are you going to say? All right, Casey. Here is your speed round. You have a minute and 39 seconds to correctly identify the common names of these scientific names.
Okay,
Ready?
I'm
Begin.
ready.
Pseudotsuga menziesii.
Douglas fir.
Taxus brevifolia.
That is the Pacific yew.
Abies lasiocarpa.
That is subalpine fir.
Picea engelmannii.
Engelmann's spruce. By Engelmann's, I mean Engelmann spruce.
Juniperus occidentalis.
Western juniper.
With a minute and 17 seconds left.
Whoa, that's it?
That's all I got.
Yes. Those are all from the actual Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was kind of the fun punchline to the whole game.
Yeah, I feel good about that. I feel really good about that.
Nice job, Casey.
Well, thanks, Alex. That was fun.
That was Binomial Bonanza.
Honestly, the fact that every single one of the ones that I got right, well, 3 of the 4 were all Siberia.
I know.
Siberia.
Guess who copy and pasted and didn't pay attention to what was there? All right, Casey, that was Binomial Bonanza. It's time for our completely arbitrary AMA. If you want to ask a question on the pod, become a premium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com. And this week we got one from Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Joe says, hi, folks. Are certain tree species better at burying carbon and emitting oxygen more than others? If the entire world decided one day, hey, we're actually going to fight climate change, but we need to remove as much carbon and maximize oxygen output ASAP.
Interesting.
Does that change the process of what trees to plant? Or is the output so minuscule that it's just the quantity and size of the trees is all that really matters?
That is a great question. It's not that it's minuscule, but the answer does end up becoming it's the size of the trees, how fast they grow, and how long they live. Those are the big things that you'd have to consider.
So 2 giant trees are going to do more work than X amount of smaller trees.
Yes, but at some point they will equal themselves out.
I understand. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
There's a that whatever that's called.
Yeah, well, the big thing is that photosynthesis works as a set process. So per amount of carbon that is taken in, there is a set amount of oxygen that will go out. Specifically, let me just
So
check
like a
real fast.
Ratio. Casey's unbuttoning his blouse.
Bow, wow, bow, bow, wow, bow. Also,
Wow.
this is not a blouse. Thank you, though. I appreciate that.
I just think it's kind of funny to call every shirt a blouse.
And you know what? It took me a second to be like, hold on. I'm not wearing a blouse. But then the only time I would is if I playing on a basketball team with Prince, in which case,
Oh,
I'm definitely wearing a blouse.
100%.
Okay, what does that say, Alex?
Oh, it's too dark. Alexa, turn on floor lamp. CO2 plus H2O.
Yep. So that's the O and the C's already.
What do you mean?
You just named the O's and this. Never mind. Keep going.
Arrow sign
Yes.
turns into CH2O plus O2.
Exactly.
So go ahead.
So on my chest is the empirical equation of photosynthesis, which I have tattooed there because I'm hardcore.
Yeah. Casey was staring at my bike.
I was staring right at it.
Challenging it.
So you have first the carbon comes in, so you have
Into where?
CO2 into the leaves itself.
Okay.
So that is going into the chlorophyll, into the chloroplast, and they are
Got
doing
it.
all this little alchemy to turn them into other things.
And the little holes, pores in the leaves.
Exactly, those little stomata guarded by the guard cells.
So carbon.
Yes, so you have carbon comes in, CO2, and then carbon dioxide. Then you have water, which also has oxygen in it. That's H2O. Then those get ripped apart and recombined and then sent back out. So depending on how long the chain is, there will be different amounts of carbon, but it all boils down to that equation, where you'll get 2 oxygens per, I think, the 1 carbon that goes in.
If you bring me an old cutting board and a clock.
Sure.
I'm gonna go in my
What
workshop.
kind of riddle is this?
I'm gonna go back into my workshop, and I'll come back out with a toy train.
Okay.
I just described photosynthesis.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm like, I don't know where he's going with this, you guys. Yes, so unfortunately, photosynthesis is photosynthesis. It is that equation. So no matter the size of the tree, no matter anything, it's always taking in X amount of carbon and it's producing X amount of oxygen.
In any plant.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, if it gets bigger, then it's now taking in more carbon and it's releasing more oxygen.
Okay.
But it's not doing it because it's now saying, okay, great, I can take in 16 carbons and produce 20 of these other things. The ratio is always going to be the same.
Okay. It's like a percentage-based thing.
It's just per this amount of thing, you get this amount of output.
Okay.
So if you are a big, gigantic tree, you're not doing anything more special than just bringing in way more carbon than a small tree and putting out way more oxygen.
Okay.
But that has nothing to do with your ability to do it. It just has to be more is more.
Is there like efficiency in this? Like are some trees like just really, really efficient at photosynthesizing?
Well, I mean, some are just better at growing bigger faster. That would be the big trick, is if you can grow really big, really fast, then you're more efficient at
That's a trick
doing
answer,
it.
though.
Exactly. So it doesn't really like meet up.
Okay.
So as far as I know, there's not really any plants that would do better other than that trick answer. Where like, if we plant next week's tree, which is a cottonwood tree, then you have a crazy amount of growth, which means you're sucking in more carbon and giving out more oxygen.
Okay.
But that's just because you're getting bigger, faster.
So if we decided to do something about climate change tomorrow or today, there's still plenty of time
There's
left.
still plenty of time. Days short.
Well, we would go for the best attack plan would be fast growing trees.
I think it would be twofold. I think it would be best to have fast-growing trees to basically, like, that's the vanguard. Hit them quick.
Sure.
So that would basically start to take up a lot of carbon, put out a lot of oxygen. But
Nice use of the word vanguard.
thank you. Appreciate it. The other thing that I would do is underplant that with slower growing trees, or interplant it with slower growing trees.
Okay.
Because the cottonwoods are going to grow really fast, then they're going to die really quickly. Great job, but that's really taking in a certain amount. Then maybe we'll turn it into paper or something else. Like, what you don't want to do is just burn them and turn them back into carbon.
Oh, sure.
Defeats the kind of the purpose.
Okay.
What you really want to do is have long-lived trees that will hold on and store that carbon, and you want to build up soil so that you have carbon stored in the soil as well.
This just sounds like starting to sound like a forest.
It does. It sounds a lot like a forest. In fact, if we just create forests, it's very likely that
minute.
we will have a huge impact on climate change in a positive sense.
Or even if we stop destroying them all.
Yeah, a little bit of both. That is the opposite of burning the wick on both ends. That is creating more wick on both ends. So you get better and more energy. But yeah, so that's what I would do. I would say let's plant 10,000 really big old species of oaks with really big species of conifers and maples and lindens and all these tropical trees that'll grow really fast and take care of everything. It's the places where we've lost those forests. If we can plant a bunch of trees back there and kind of help rebuild that, then that's the real trick.
All right. Well, thanks, Joe, for your question.
That's a great question.
That is a good question. I really like that one. And if you've got a question for us, like I said, become a Treemium member. You can join the Cone Club and get monthly botanical stickers sent to your door. Ad-free listening, 20% off on the merch store. Shit.
He's just about everything you could ever want.
We'll pay for your groceries. Do you want eggs?
We will bring you eggs. That's fine.
We'll pop them out of Casey's cloaca.
That's where all the eggs come from. Like we said, we don't understand the maxi pad. We don't get it.
All right, Casey Clapp, thanks so much, and congratulations on your book, pal. It's really real.
Thank you, Alex, and congratulations on your forthcoming album.
Well, thank you.
Is we finished up the thing, right? The funding.
The fundraiser's over.
Yes. Doesn't mean you still can't give us and Alex money for it.
Yes, please.
Just be clear.
You go to my Venmo, and if you missed the fundraiser for whatever reason,
There's still time.
yeah, of course, always send me money. Why not?
Yeah,
it'll be used for the record. But
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
When are we expecting this? Do you have any timeline?
record?
Yeah. There's a time in the future.
I'm going to say spring 2026.
Spring 2026. Okay, that sounds great.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Completely Arbitrary. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Completely Arbitrary is hosted by Casey Clapp and Alex Crowson.
Our music is by Aves and the Mini Vandals, and our artwork is by Jillian Barthold.
To support the podcast and get rewards in return, become a Treemium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com.
Thanks for listening.